Hi there, Nurse Sharon here. I just wanted to put together a few slides to help my patients understand the difference between normal healthy blood glucose levels, insulin resistance, prediabetes, and diabetes. So hopefully you'll find these slides helpful. I do have a full, longer video that really goes into depth on these, but this is just helpful, I think, for a visual aid to really grasp the difference between these concepts. In this first slide, this is an example of healthy glucose transport. Everybody's happy. The pancreas is doing its job. Its beta cells are successful in making enough insulin. These insulin pieces, you can see those little yellow guys are now represented as keys. What those do is they actually go to the cell membrane of different target cells like liver and fat cells and muscle cells. And the glucose is too big. It can't get in. It has to have the help of the insulin, which basically acts like a key to open up a pathway so that the glucose, which is also energy, can get to those stored cells. So it's the perfect balance. You have glucose, it goes in through the insulin and gets to the target cells. So everything is working perfectly in this example. This slide represents insulin resistance. You can see that the pancreas is actually trying very hard to keep up with the demands. It's releasing insulin, but yet not all of those locks are opening. The cell wall is starting to become insulin resistant. So it responds by making more insulin, so you have a lot more keys floating around. They're doing the job. The glucose numbers are where they should be, so this person's A1C and fasting blood glucose could be completely normal. However, if we were to take a fasting insulin, what we could see is that that insulin level has become elevated in efforts to try to keep up with the demand. This next slide is prediabetes. This is different than insulin resistance in the fact that the pancreas has gotten tired enough that even though it is secreting insulin, it just can't secrete enough insulin to keep the glucose numbers down. So this is the point at which we see the A1C come up. This is going to be an A1C greater than 5.6. So in this slide, what we see is actual type 2 diabetes. In this one, you can see the pancreas is pretty ill at this point. At this point, the pancreas has just been completely overrun. The glucose is exceptionally high. At this point, the A1C is going to be over 6.5, and the insulin, it's still there. They're still making insulin, but it's just not able to do the job. There's too much resistance to it. The lock is not working. These cells are not getting what they need. So the liver isn't getting what it needs, the fat cells aren't getting what they need, and the skeletal muscle isn't getting what they need. I will have another slide too on glucose gone bad, which kind of explains what havoc having all of this glucose running around can do in type 2 diabetes.